probably very familiar with the famous story of David and Goliath, and it's recorded in the book of Samuel. And there we read of how for 40 days Goliath, every single morning, Goliath taunted the Jewish people. And it was actually an affront to the Jewish people and an affront to God, because our sages say that he chose specifically the morning because that was the time that the Jewish people should be saying Kriyas Shema and should be connecting to God, and he wanted to stop that connection. After 40 days of taunting the Jewish people, come on, you're weak. Don't you have someone to come and fight me? Don't you have a warrior? After 40 days, David, young David, who eventually became King David, prevailed upon King Saul to give him permission to fight Goliath. And as we know, David slew the warrior, the giant Goliath, with one stone. Who were David and Goliath? David and Goliath were actually distant cousins. They were both great-grandsons of two sisters, Ruth and Orpah. On Shavuos, we read the beautiful story of Ruth and how Ruth accompanied her mother-in-law into the land of Israel. How, despite her background of fabulous wealth, she gave everything up and it took part in the poverty of her mother-in-law. She helped her mother-in-law. She was so kind and so gracious, and she accepted all the laws of Judaism upon herself. Beautiful story. The book of Ruth begins actually with Ruth and her sister Orpah escorting Naomi. And according to the book of Ruth, both of them originally intended to go with Naomi into the land of Israel, but Naomi dissuades, and she talks to them and she says, go back to your parents' house, go back to your wealth, go back to your lifestyle. And of course, with Ruth, Naomi did not prevail. Ruth insisted and persisted, but Orpah turned around and went back. Our sages say that Orpah took 40 steps in escorting her mother-in-law, Naomi. And in reward for those 40 steps, Goliath was able to taunt the Jewish people for 40 days, because otherwise David would have come earlier. So Goliath lived the extra 40 days as a merit for his great-grandmother escorting Naomi. So the obvious question, the powerful question is, this is merit? Orpah escorts her mother-in-law sincerely for 40 steps. And this is her reward, that her great-great-grandson is going to curse the Jewish people and curse God for 40 days. And without that reward, David would have come and killed him 40 days earlier. What kind of reward is that? And the Alter of Slobodka, Rabbi Nosson Tzvi, explains the reward was that her great-grandson would be granted the gift of life for an extra 40 days. What he did with his life is what he chose. He chose to misuse the gift of those extra 40 days and to turn those 40 days into an activity that would actually bring him down. God gives us the gift of life every single day. It's our choice. How do we live our life? What do we do with that gift? We are about to celebrate the holiday of Shavuos. The Torah tells us, "Uvachar tov Chayim," choose life. What do you mean choose life? Choose life? I live as long as God gives me life. Choose life. When God gives you the blessing of life, Choose to live life to its fullest. Choose to live life according to the beautiful teachings of the Torah. And may Hashem bless you and bless us all, that we can use the gift of life. And as actually King David taught us in Tehillim, Zeh hayom asa Hashem, this day Hashem has made, Nagila v'nischavo, we shall rejoice, we shall make the best, the most of the gift of life each and every single day. God gives us the gift of life. It is up to us to choose how to use that precious gift. Have a beautiful Shabbos and a beautiful spiritually uplifting Yom Tov of Shavuos.